Great first day. Excited to get back out on the field and watch you guys run around. It's been a long summer, watching them in the weight room, watching them in conditioning, and it was great to put the helmets on, roll the balls out, and see the improvement that we made. Wasn't a great first day, but a lot better than our first day in the spring, as you would expect. There was some pretty good recall from a lot of players. Some of the new players obviously were sloppy. A lot of things that we got to continue to improve on as we move forward. Got to get back into football playing shape. We're in great conditioning shape from summer workouts, but just like most teams at this time of year, not in great football shape, and we got to play ourselves back into that. But good start, and I'm happy with what I saw out there today. And as we continue to go through training camp, we'll have a better feel of our team and our players, and the picture will become clearer and clearer. It's a lot clearer right now than it was back in March when we first started. So making progress, but like I've been saying all along, got a long way to go.
Chris, the depth chart at quarterback, what was your thinking about Laviano and Allen making them first team?
They're the two that have earned it. Chris Laviano had a great summer. He was one of our most consistent players on the team, not just in that quarterback position, but just his work ethic, his attitude, his commitment to himself. It completely changed, and he was fun to watch this summer. So he earned the right to go out and take reps with the first team as the first quarterback. Zach Allen, again, it's been documented why we brought him in, to create competition. He also had a great summer, and we thought it was the right thing to do to give him opportunities to practice with the first team. And then the other two, Hayden and Gio, took reps with the twos. And we'll go through every practice. We'll evaluate every rep. We'll give them grades and evaluations after every practice, and then keep moving with the way it is right now, and or we'll make changes as necessary. We'll go a couple of days with the way it is. We won't change anything, just in helmets.
Did everybody make it that it was supposed to report?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple guys that we're still waiting on, but with no surprises right now.
Is there a message to the team as far as how quickly this goes, training camp, and Washington State's right around the corner?
Yeah, we talk a lot about that. I mean, I'm not worried. We got 29 practices like everybody else. This was practice one. I don't want them to think about 29 practices and think about Washington, because if you sit and think about 29 practices, that's darn near 2 spring practices in a row, and they can think, man, this is a long time. I just got to get in survival mode. I want them to worry about one day, and just trying to get better each day. And we'll pick and choose our opportunities to let them take a deep breath and recover their body a little bit before we recharge them back up. But if we focus on the 29 practices or 28 that are left, it'll be a long time.
Chris, is there a plan to redshirt Tylen Oden, and is there anything he could do in spring camp and training camp to earn some playing time, or not enough time?
There's no plans to redshirt anybody yet until we get through the majority of training camp and have an opportunity to evaluate everybody. It's not just the quarterback position, but all positions. We'll get through about 2 weeks of training camp. We'll have a really good idea of the group of guys we think can help us win football games, and who's going to have to take a red shirt. As we move forward, if guys start to flash, they'll get more opportunities to show what they can do, and Tylen's no different than the other position.
You talked about Chris over the summer. What about his temperament have you seen that leads you to believe he's capable of leading this team?
Well, what I saw in the summer, I didn't necessarily see in the spring. I thought that he did a better job of providing leadership. I thought he did a better job of earning the trust of others, just the way he conducted himself. But he's got to do it out on the practice field. Doing it in the weight room, doing it in conditioning is one thing. Doing it when you put the helmet on and you're back there behind center taking snaps and doing it consistently to the level that guys trust you and believe in you, that's a whole nother thing. So we have to see if Chris can do that. We have to see if any of those quarterbacks can do it.
How is Zach done in adjusting just to move back to quarterback? How quickly can you make that adjustment?
Zach's done a great job this whole summer. I mean, that's why we brought him in. He's a mature kid. He's an intelligent kid. We knew that he would fit well with the other players. I think he struck up a really good relationship with some of the other quarterbacks in the room, and as well as other players on the football team. I think he's a likable guy, and they enjoy having him around. I think it's been good for the football team for him to be here. But the transition to quarterback, from what I saw today, looked pretty smooth.
You mentioned not the best day of first team training camp. Is that just rustiness, typical first day?
Typical first day. We're still a new staff. We're still a new offense, new defense. We've made a lot of changes to their bodies, but it took 7 months to make a lot of those changes. We have to change the type of production we get on the field as football players, and that doesn't happen on day one. Again, like I mentioned, we're a lot better today than we were the first day of spring. But what does that mean yet? I don't know. We got a long way to go. So it's a typical first day of a new offense, new defense, new special teams, a new coaching staff. I'm encouraged by a lot of the things I saw today. It wasn't like it was perfect.
Do you feel more comfortable?
What's that?
Do you feel more comfortable?
With what?
Just with the position and now with training camp underway.
I feel like I've always felt that we're going to go out and coach these guys extremely hard every single day to be the best that they can be, and I'm never going to feel comfortable with where we're at. We got a long way to go, and we could win 12 games, probably still won't feel comfortable.
Chris, what the reaction? Hayden obviously was a co-starter here some of last training camp, and then the number 2 guy. What can you tell us about his reaction of where he is on the depth chart? Did you talk to him about it?
I'll be honest with you. I mean, we talked to all these players. I don't really care what they were in the past. It has nothing to do with where they're at today or where they're going to be at in the future. It's a clean slate for everybody, and they have to earn the right to go out and play and to be a starter on this football team. I'm really proud of all those guys in that quarterback room, though. Bringing in a transfer like we did at the time of year that we did is never easy. And we knew that players would go one way or the other, and thankfully the attitude and the competitive spirit in all those guys has come to the front, and they had a great summer and they responded the right way. Again, what they did in the summer doesn't determine what they're going to do out here with helmets and balls and all that stuff, so we got to see how they do there.
The running back position, what did Robert do to separate himself maybe a little bit, and what have you seen from Josh Hicks?
Robert earned the opportunity to go out as the one tailback in the spring. He came out of spring as the number 1 tailback because of what he did there. And again, that doesn't ensure that he's going to be the starting tailback in a few weeks when we go play Washington, but he's earned the right on day 1 to be the number 1 tailback, and we'll see how he does in training camp. But Josh has got a long way to go. He's made some progress, but he's got to be more consistent.
Chris, is your preference to find a starting running back, a featured guy, a guy who's going to be the bell cow, so to speak?
We have to have it with what we want to do and how much we want to run the ball. We need a stable of running backs. I'd love to have a top tailback that's an absolute stud that we feature, and hopefully we find that guy here in training camp. But if not, we'll have a stable of backs, and if they're all pretty similar, they'll all play pretty similar number of reps.
Several months in now, you spend a lot of time with the team. How do you gauge the character of the team? Is this going to be a team that proudly represents the university?
Through 7 months, I'll answer yes. You look at the behavior, you tell me what you see. I mean, I see a bunch of guys that want to be coached. I see guys that want to excel. I see guys that want to do things right, and they want to be good teammates, and they want to represent the athletic department, the university, and this state the right way. And now, they have to continue that, but I like the trend that we're on right now.
You guys are doing training camp here, in a hotel, all during training camp. Tell me a little bit about that. What's the mindset? Keeping them together?
That's what a lot of people do. It's what I've done at a lot of different places. The time that you can have them during training camp, uninterrupted meeting and practice time, and make sure that you can keep close tabs on them, and make sure that they're recovering the right way, they're getting the right amount of sleep, they're hydrating the right way, they're getting up, and you're eliminating any problems by being together with a watchful eye on them in the hotel. So that was an easy thing for us to do. It's just what I've always been a part of at most places, so it's pretty standard operating procedure for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you guys.
Thank you, Coach.